world for you.
Yeah.
Don't break it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't be
Yeah, the Leahy guy who fucking Israel brings out to give troops morale. Apparently there was an attempted attack on a U.S. embassy in Beirut. This is like breaking shit so far. Don't know enough details about it. This happened like, I think right as we went live. So you know it wasn't me. You know what I mean? I was here. I was live. So obviously I had nothing to do with it.
Right now, a gunman is in custody after a shootout at the U.S. Embassy in Lebanon.
Lebanese soldiers say that they shot and captured the suspect about half an hour after it began. The embassy is located in Ukar, which is located just outside of the city center. Those military members engaged with the gunman early this morning. An embassy security guard was injured during the shootout. Investigators are working to determine a motive for the attack. There's been an ongoing conflict between Hezbollah and Israel in the backdrop of the war of Gaza. Yesterday, a high-ranking official said Israel is ready to launch a major offensive at its northern border with Lebanon.
Dude, that's what Israel needs right now, I think. Yeah. No, open up like open up a new invasion. Open up a new front. This time with a much more significant military. Like, not just like a group of dudes who are making bathtub rockets, but like an actual functional standing militia, basically. Not even a militia, but like a military force. It's always a good idea. You know, fuck it, YOLO. This is literally just like Adolf Hitlerian military tactics. Let's go invade Russia in the fucking middle of the winter type shit. It's great. Yeah. You joke, but Israel's right is desperate for an invasion of Lebanon. Yeah, it's great. Good stuff. Worked so well for the last time a fascist, ideologically fascist state engaged in permanent war for, not dissimilar reasons. Living room, as they called it. Lebensraum.
Let's bring in CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tayeb now. He's following all of this for us from Tel Aviv. Imtiaz, what more are we learning about the attack, who was behind it, and what the motivation may have been?
Lana, good to be with you. Well, what we do know is that a Syrian national is in hospital right now after he was shot in that shootout. Lebanese forces still investigating what sounds like a really alarming situation at the U.S. Embassy just outside of Beirut, in a Beirut suburb. I've been to this embassy, and I can tell you, it is a very heavily fortified place. In order to get anywhere near the main building, you have to go through several checkpoints, several searches. And so it is a very, very secure area. Still, the fact that the shootout took place and lasted as long as it did is really begging a lot of questions. Now, in terms of motive, there's no clear motive at this stage, as investigators still try to understand what happened outside that very secure embassy. Guys.
Well, Imtiaz, let's talk about the Israel component, because Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel...
Your hatred of Israel is making you ignore how successful the 2006 war against Hezbollah was? Yeah. Famous Israeli dubs.
...is prepared to take strong action in the north as the military is ramping up its presence along the country's border with Lebanon. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, pretty much since the beginning of the war in Gaza, there's been rhetoric here in Israel saying just that. But the timing of this statement from Mr. Netanyahu, I think, is ringing a lot of alarm bells in capitals around the world, and not least in Washington. And the reason there's a concern there is that we know that there is this Israeli proposal to end the war in Gaza, which could see a ceasefire. And the concern is if that happens and the hostages are released, that the Israeli Prime Minister will turn his attention to the north of the border. You have to remember, again, since October 7th, 60,000 Israelis have been displaced from northern Israel as Hezbollah, which is an Iranian-backed armed and political faction in Lebanon, exchanged nearly daily fire with Israel. In fact,
like right now, right now is a classic back and forth. Okay, northern Israel is getting fucking shellacked, southern Lebanon is getting shellacked, and vice versa. Okay, constantly. The dynamic changes dramatically if Israel decides to move in troops or increases attacks or increase the area of impact. All of a sudden, the rather ascetic Hezbollah that obviously has like concerns with civil governance and therefore is not, you know, pushing in any sort of or not doing any sort of like serious military campaign, is forced into the battle. Like the reason why I think the reason why post October 7, like even though it was a clear boundary break for any kind of like Iranian proxy or any of the axis of resistance against Israel and America in the region, the fact that they did not move in a way in an expected way was because the Lebanese. Oh shit. Oh no. How the fuck did I miss this? Sorry. The reasons as to it's fine. It's not a big deal. Wait, what? Oh, it just happened actually. Hold up. Yeah, someone said miss creatine pill delivery. I did. What? No, I didn't. I actually didn't. I just got my creatine pills. Let's fucking go. I got my creatine pills. Let's go. What I was saying was, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, the reason as to why Hezbollah did not move towards Israel beyond like bombing northern Israel was because, you know, Lebanese economy is not doing great. It's not doing great at all. They don't have like they can't withstand like dramatic bombing campaigns like previous Israeli incursions into Lebanon. You know?
Villages along the border in southern Lebanon have been reduced to ruins. About 150,000 Lebanese are also displaced from their homes. It is an extremely volatile border and a rather extremely volatile situation. And very quickly, if Israel were to engage into an overt war with Hezbollah, it would be very different from what we see in Gaza. Hezbollah has an arms arsenal that is far greater than Hamas could ever dream of. And Hezbollah, which is a hardened fighting force after years of fighting in Syria. So this is very alarming if it does happen. Guys.
And MTS, I want to ask you about a domestic topic. I know that Israeli police have been deployed ahead of today's Jerusalem Day flag march. Speak to us about some of the preparations amid what's growing tensions.
Oh, yeah. It is fucking, of course, it's Jerusalem Day, which means, you know, which means the Israeli clan, the inbred hicks of Israel, are going to get extra fucking rowdy today. A herd of settlers assaulted the Palestinian journalist Saif al-Khawazmi in occupied Jerusalem. Absolute fucking freaks. Flag Day in Israel, baby. Just doing some regular old Nazi shit, dude. Let's go. You can't directly compare the Lebanese economy with Hezbollah. They're not the state military, and since 2006, their numbers in arms have grown significantly. They've been taken down. Wait, it doesn't matter. They still have... Hezbollah also has civil governance in mind as well, though. Like, they can't just fucking move like a simple standing military. They have state considerations in mind. Like they have to operate like as a political actor on top of like they can't just behave like a rogue military. They can't behave like a rogue military. So that is the reason why they are also tied to Lebanese interests across the board. Oh, we'll talk about Jerusalem Day in a second. Flag Day in a second.
There.
Yeah, very tense. In fact, we were in Jerusalem, in the Old City, as that march started. And I have to be honest with you, it was extremely hostile. Although there's around 3,000 Israeli border police and police, who have been deployed to keep the peace there, that's certainly not what we experienced. Our team was shoved and kicked as we were trying to film outside the Damascus Gate in Jerusalem. So as you can imagine, it's a very tense scene there. We also have...
They knew we were Christians. They started spitting on us. It's really fucked up. But also, Israel is still the most moral nation on the planet. So we said, please, sir, thank you. Thank you for spitting on me, I said to the 14-year-old inbred psychopath spitting directly in my vicinity as he called me a Christian dog. It was okay.
I've heard reports of other journalists being very severely beaten by these young men, predominantly, who take part in this march. A march which has, over the years, become a day or a rally.
It was cool. It was cool. It was like, I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was valid. I deserve it.
Point for far-right extremists in Israel to march through the streets of the Old City, the Muslim quarter of Jerusalem, where many Palestinians live, chanting phrases like "death to Arabs" and "we will burn your village." So as you can imagine, it is an extremely tense and extremely fraught.
Is it? Bro, it's a Nazi march, man. What the fuck are we doing here? There is no world in which a Nazi march like this gets this kind of coverage where they're doing Nazi shit, specifically fucking trying to do pogroms to Palestinian shopkeepers. And you're like, well, it was really tense. No, it's a Nazi march and they're doing Nazi shit. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
Time. And for our team, it was a bit of a rough time as well, guys.
Pretty eye-opening experience. MTS tie-up, thank you very much.
Oh, it's the eye-opening experience. It's so shocking. Yeah, death to Arabs was being chanted at the perfectly normal, definitely not Nazi march. It's only eye-opening if you actually do open your eyes to the fucking reality and turn around and realize that this is this is Israel, okay? This is Israel. The protection that these guys get is, and the fact that they do this every fucking year is not simply a fringe extreme moment, okay? This is functionally government sanctioned. And as a matter of fact, it's so government sanctioned that the people that are participating in this are in the fucking government, okay? We're talking about the finance minister. We're talking about the minister in charge of the police and demolitions, okay? Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, both settlers, both exactly like these fucking demons. The idea that this is like unique or fringe, oh, I can't believe it, is ridiculous. These motherfuckers do like, it's like having the Patriot Front, you know, those like federal agent looking Nazis that fucking go around and protest. It's as if they were doing it in a black neighborhood while specifically beating up black people and destroying black businesses. And you had, I don't know, like Mike Johnson go and march with them and speak about how cool it is that we're beating on black people. Like, America is a white supremacist nation. I bring this up all the fucking time. But like the overt fascism that you can see on any given day inside of Israel, both Israel proper and including the occupied territories, is unimaginable. Okay? They're doing they're doing Charlottesville Unite the Right rallies on a regular basis every year. And it's like people don't look at this as, history repeating itself. Look at that. Look. Oh, it's so fringe. It's so crazy. Ben-Gvir shattering the status quo. Jerusalem is ours. Damascus Gate is ours. The Temple Mount is ours. Today, in accordance with my policy, Jews prayed freely on the Temple Mount. We say in the simplest way, it is ours. Now, if you don't know what that's about, here's Barak Ravid's reporting on it. Israeli Minister of National Security, Itamar Ben-Gvir, who is in charge of the Israeli police, says his policy is that Jews can pray freely at the Temple Mount / Haram al-Sharif compound, a violation of the status quo in a sensitive and holy site. The reason why he wants to do that is so that they can fully take it over. The reason why he could do that is so that is so that there are clashes there and that they can just bring in the fucking police again and brutalize the Palestinians. Yeah, he's like, I want to convey a message to Hamas and every home in Gaza.
בית בעזה וגם בצפון, בכל בית בעזה ובצפון יש תמונות של הר הבית, יש תמונות של ירושלים, ואנחנו אומרים להם ירושלים שלנו, שער שכם שלנו, הר הבית שלנו. היום לפי המדיניות שלי נכנסו לעיר העתיקה יהודים בתנועה חופשית, וגם בהר הבית התפללו בצורה חופשית. אנחנו אומרים בצורה הכי פשוטה, זה שלנו, זה המסר לחמאס. אני מתפלל על הפצועים, מתפלל לשחרור החטופים, אבל אומר את החמאס ואת החיזבאללה צריך לנצח במלחמה, רק במלחמה, וזה שלנו. הר הבית שלנו, שער שכם שלנו, שידעו את זה בכל העולם.
Like, you guys need to understand, this is a... Hey, get out of there. Go. Place. Like, the last intifada occurred as a consequence of fucking around in this exact same way, okay? And this is worse than that. The second intifada, which led to, you know, bombs and fucking bus stops and shit. Would you say this is the worst event since 1948? What do you mean? Yes, the last 8 months have been objectively worse than 1948. I mean, more death and more destruction. We'll see what happens at the end of the 8-month campaign. How many, I mean, millions of Palestinians displaced currently. Yeah. The second intifada occurred after Ariel Sharon walked onto Al-Aqsa with Israeli police and settlers. Okay? They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're trying to fucking egg on the Palestinian population further after doing a fucking ethnic cleansing so they can pack up the West Bank too. Further pack up the West Bank. Prime Minister's office denies the claim. Israel Prime Minister's office pushes back on Ben-Gvir's statement and says the status quo at the Temple Mount hasn't changed. It will not change. I'm taking my creatine pills. Yeah, it's the classical provoke and revenge strategy which Moshe Dayan masterminded. Why is Israel even going so hard? They aren't allowed to take any territory by our American government, right? Come on, dude. They are the American government. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Another not so fun fact is that Israel has killed 500 plus Palestinians in the West Bank since October 7. In the West Bank, not Hamas, in the West Bank. Okay? Not Gaza, in the West Bank, in occupied Palestinian land that Israel illegally occupies. We've already talked about yes, we've already talked about the supposed architectural reason or archaeological reasons as to why Israel is digging deep under the Al-Aqsa Mosque and most likely undermining the foundations of the Al-Aqsa Mosque for years and years at this point. They're trying to destroy it. The Israeli ICC judge just resigned. Oh my God. Israel's appointed judge of the International Court of Justice resigned, citing personal reasons. Retired Supreme Court President Aharon Barak has resigned from his position as judge at the hearing concerning South Africa's petition accusing... No, this is not ICC. This is ICJ. In Gaza, citing personal reasons. Oh, shit. Anyway, things are not looking great is my point, okay? They're not looking good at all. Well, not the ICJ thing. This... Literal Hitler Youth? Oh, 100%. 100p. Like, think about it this way. Pre-October 7 discourse among the progressive pro-Palestinian camp was that it's a faux pas to make comparisons to Nazis in Israel. It's no longer a faux pas. Pure fascism. Here is Omdim Be'achad on so-called Jerusalem Day. Droves of young West Bank settlers come to Jerusalem to attack Palestinians in the old city. Standing together, activists are there, and they try to provide protective presence, de-escalate, and force the police to stop